What's up, y'all?
Hi.
Welcome
Happy
back.
Day.
Happy
day.
Night. Happy evening.
We are on episode number
9.
9. It's crazy. We're almost at episode 10, and that will be crazy.
9's one before 10, so.
If you do the math right, I mean, we're right there.
If you add it up, Haas, we're right there.
So last week we talked about relationships. We had some good feedback on it. Love and marriage. One of my students wanted us to touch on LDRs or long distance relationships. And personally, we both were in a long distance relationship at some point. Mine was like only over the summers, and it gave him the perfect chance to cheat on me. So didn't work out well, but we were young. We were in college. He sucked. So if you're watching, shout out.
You tried it out. You hated it. I did long distance, same thing. It's not ideal, but if it's worth it, like if they're the one and you're willing to like endure the heartache, it can be totally worth it.
I would say as long as there's conversation around moving closer together, it's not going to be sustainable forever. So like, what's your 2 to 5 year plan? And I know that like right off the bat, you don't want to like just bring that up, but at the same time, like why waste your time if there's no thought of like you moving or them moving, then like don't waste your time.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on your age. Yeah, exactly. If you're trying to be serious about it, if there is like an end goal established that it's like, okay, you know, or if like they're out of town for work for an extended period of time, that's a different thing. If there's like an end goal where you will be together, I think that's ideal.
Agreed.
For sure.
Yeah.
Agreed.
But
cool.
You also broke the
camel's back. What are you talking about?
Well, you were singing the song wrong.
Oh yeah. Wait. Well, first of all, shout to Elyse's. It was your
shout
friend.
out Leren.
We
Lauren
love
from
we love the feedback. So if people are like, "Hey, cover this topic," please hit us up. So just an FYI. Yes. Recap from the last episode. I want redemption. So in the beginning, we're talking about the Frank Sinatra song "Loved and Marriage," and I was like,
"Love." You even just did it now.
Love and marriage.
Love and marriage.
Yeah, love
and marriage. You like stuttered again
because I want to say
loved.
It. So let me give you. So you might be, if you watched the episode before, I thought it was love and the marriage. And to be fair, this dates back to when I was like a child, and you know how it's just like. You perceive things differently when you're younger, and sometimes if you don't prove your mind otherwise, that's just ingrained in your head. So literally for years, I thought it was love and the marriage, blah, blah, blah. Elise and I were arguing. So I was like, I gotta freaking get to the bottom of this. And in my, of course, it's just love and marriage, of course.
Of course.
But in my defense, if you listen to it, he accentuates the D.
The first time, right?
He accentuates the D on and. Love and marriage. He doesn't say love and marriage. Love and marriage.
Well, he does also say
he
love
does both.
and marriage, yeah.
He does multiple iterations, but a few of them, the D is really hard. And young me, little baby me, thought he was saying love and the marriage. So there you go.
You heard it here first.
And actually, I'm going to play a clip, the shortest clip of it right now.
Love and marriage.
Yeah.
Okay, so this week, wearing my buns, wearing my Alien Coldplay shirt. We're talking space. And then we should do like an effect where it's like space, space, space. I don't know, just like. Anyways, we're talking about space. I'm so excited about this episode. We literally thought about it like yesterday or something. We're like, let's just do space. And then looking at all of the facts about space, it was so fun. I've mentioned this in another episode, but we know more facts about space than we do our own oceans. So,
hello.
And still, like, it's just crazy. I mean, space is infinite.
Unlimited.
Which literally, I don't think our human brains can actually like wrap around what that actually means. Like, have you ever been out in like a desert or in the mountains or something? You look up and you see like a million stars, and then you start to like not be able to breathe because you like realize that it goes on forever. And like, what does that even mean?
It's definitely daunting and overwhelming.
Yeah.
So I know it's like proven that it's infinite. I'm just blown away that it can be. Well, it's like a theory, obviously, but like based off of the data that's been gathered by scientists, that's like what the theory is. And it's like, how do you even know it's infinite? Because infinite means it never ends. But how do you measure that? How do you measure that?
Well, you can't, because you can never go from one end to the next if it never ends.
Right. I think similar to quantum physics, which we talked about in our science episode, go check that out. It's probably a frustrating line of work / exciting, because everything's so like, it's all theoretical.
Well, I think it's kind of like We Don't Know Anything, where we can just talk about whatever and not know anything. It's like they could just say, well, it just goes on forever, period. And then it's like, okay, well, I guess that's done.
Yeah, I'm not going to question that. It's like the weatherman. Yeah. The weatherman can be wrong every time, and he'll be like, or he or she or whoever, they'll be like, sorry, weather patterns changed, and you can't argue it, Yeah. Best job in the world.
So with this theory that space is infinite, it means that theoretically every possible configuration of matter could exist, including infinite copies of yourself.
Think about that, y'all.
Which is just like, again, crazy to think about, and like quantum realm and like different versions of this life and lifeline and all of the things. Shout out Loki if you've seen it.
Parallel universes, all that kind of stuff. Well, if you follow we like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and obviously it's like sci-fi, fantasy, whatever, but a lot of the concepts are like kind of based on like true theory, where it's like there can be parallel versions of yourself in other dimensions, and it's like, what?
It's wild.
What would you do if you met yourself in a parallel
dimension? Out. Literally waiting for it.
Yeah?
I'd love to hang out with myself.
Well, they say, I feel like every time it's in a movie, you can't meet yourself from another timeline, or it could screw up the whole space-time. Like the thing in Harry Potter, where they go back in time and they can't let their past selves see them, because they could screw up the space-time continuum.
Back to the Future.
Back to the Future. That was like the OG.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back to the Future. Good call, babe.
So that's crazy. And obviously there's like billions of stars in our galaxy, and there's thousands of galaxies. So even that is just like, what? It's crazy.
I mean, they say, like, I was reading facts, and there's like because we're looking up for fun facts of space, and all the facts for space are hilarious, because it's like the most like ultimate facts imaginable. One was like, there's more stars in the Milky Way galaxy than there are grains of sand on Earth.
I saw that one.
And it's like, again, not that I doubt it, but very theoretical, because how do you know how many fucking grains of sand there are? Pardon my French, viewers.
Yeah.
There's sand in the water going down, down, down. How do you know there's not more sand than stars? Scientists challenge me, baby. Let's talk.
Yeah. I know. It's crazy. So our solar system, for those that need an update, we have Mercury going from in to out.
Do the acronym or the mnemonic device. Remember that?
No.
My very eager mother just served us 9 pickles when Pluto was in it. You don't remember that?
So it could be nuggets.
Just served us. Oh yeah, my very eager mother just served us nuggets. Nice. Or Nutella.
Nice. So we have Mercury, Venus, Earth, shout out, Mars,
Preach.
Jupiter, Saturn,
okay,
Uranus,
cool,
Neptune.
Uranus.
And then we did have Pluto.
We did have Pluto.
What happened to Pluto?
Pluto, for those of you of our generation and before, Pluto was always the 9th planet.
Which is kind of cool that we grew up in a time where we had 9 planets before it went away.
And then it got disproven because I don't know if the astronomical, what is it, the AUI? The International, I don't have it in front of me. Whatever, the organization that establishes astronomical facts deemed it not a planet because it does not qualify, or it doesn't match all 3 criteria that makes a planet, which are one, it orbits the sun, which it does. Two, the gravity of the entity is so immense that it makes it circular. So yes, that qualifies. But the last one, therein lies the issue. It has it dominates its orbit path. So it's cleared a full path in its orbit, and apparently Pluto isn't big enough to completely like dominate the orbital path. So there's other things. I don't know if it's other asteroids, debris, what have you. But yeah, so that, they said cut it out. And I don't know the exact date that they did it, but it was definitely in our lifetime.
A few years ago.
Many years ago. We were like kids.
Mm-mm.
It wasn't a few years ago. We were in like middle school. No?
Keep talking about it. I'm going to look it up. So it is now a dwarf planet.
Oh yeah,
correct?
It's a dwarf planet. So it almost meets all that criteria. I think that's pretty cool that they said, wait a second,
big
Pluto.
Change, yeah.
They said, wait a darn second, Pluto.
Since 2006.
Yeah, we were in. Oh, that's high school. That's high school. I graduated in 2008.
Yeah, high school. We weren't kids.
You said a few years ago. We were children.
I was basically in high school a few years ago.
Don't kid yourself, you freak.
That's wild. We also have moving to Mars,
Wait, keep talking. I need to grab my phone for facts. It's right there.
Our lovely friend, our lovely pal, everyone's pal, Elon Musk. Woof. He wants to move to Mars. So Mars, the planet, has a thinner atmosphere. It has an atmosphere, so that's why they're actually considering this in the first place. Most of them don't have atmospheres.
And water, right?
Yeah, water, or like the ability to have water there. Not like running streams and things, but it looks like it had water at some point and like it has the ability to have water.
Interesting.
But it's a thinner atmosphere, so that's why they're choosing to potentially go there.
Also, the temperature's not like so extreme that you would die instantly. Yeah.
So I was looking this up, and Elon Musk, who's again just like an alien. I don't even know like how
He might be an alien, literally.
I think he is. I think he wants to get back home, and that's why he's like so intense about Mars.
He's from Mars. He's pushing for it.
He's like, let's all go. Let's put all of our efforts and money towards it.
It's your money, sure. And he's like, beep boop. Let's get back to Mars.
So he has SpaceX, obviously, is his company. Since 2002, which I didn't know it's been around for that long. But
also he has children named like bleep bloop blarg lord.
Yeah, his kids are crazy.
Gloop,
but
glop.
He wants to take a trip to Mars in the next 4 years with people. So they're trying to get just a vessel up there in the next like 2 years, and then people in the next 4.
Yeah, but how much are tickets? It's like $1 trillion.
Well, no, those
per
would
ticket.
be like those would be astronauts. Like going to
explorers,
see if it's even a thing you can do. And then he's teaming up with the Boring Company, which all of this just seems fake. But he's teaming up with the Boring Company, or he was at least, because he's saying that you would need to live underground on Mars in tunnels.
So, like the verb, they bore holes.
Yeah, because every few years they have crazy dust storms that like could just wreck you.
Interesting.
That happens in The Martian, the movie.
Very good.
With Matt Damon. And
Matt Damon.
I read the book to that, and I literally thought I was the smartest person in the world while I was reading it. I was like, potatoes and Mars? I could do this.
Like,
easy.
This all adds up.
They created these like huge tunnels that basically made out of like metal or something, and they would bring them up there, and then the tunnel itself digs, so you don't need like extra machinery and stuff. They just dig themselves.
That's very cool. It's installing the framework as it digs.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Something like that. But it's like, so you're going to go, he wants 1 million people to live in this city. Okay, few things. for those of us who don't believe in global warming, not to call you out, but the administration doesn't really believe in global warming, right? But he's saying that in order to protect society and humanity and human beings, we have to go to another planet. So you're saying that we're not hurting the planet, but we need to get to another planet.
He's just not labeling it that way. But he's low key recognizing the fact that the environment is declining.
Just a little interesting thing that I was thinking of, but he wants to preserve humanity and keep us alive forever. So he wants to send 1 million people up to Mars in this city that will be all underground because of these dust storms. And you'll live underground, but he knows that people will want to eventually come out, but you can't actually breathe. So that means you would have to come out in a suit. So you would never actually taste fresh air if you were born there, which is crazy.
Yeah, it'd be like the things you see in like sci-fi movies where it's just like a new norm where people just like, they could probably, obviously they'll have enclosed spaces with artificial oxygen, or not artificial, produced oxygen, and they could probably create artificial sunlight and atmosphere and have like, could be kind of dope actually to go visit at least.
And it would only take,
I would visit.
How many months did I say? 4 months?
9 months.
9 months.
Which actually isn't that bad. I thought it would take like 40 years. 9
months to get up there. And then you would have to stay though for 3 years because then the two planets are obviously orbiting. So they would need to wait for them to like align again so that it would only take 9 months to get back. And that's like God willing that like they actually travel the way that they should and like everything technologically is working and all of that.
And there's no like space debris that's going to blast you on the way.
Yeah.
I appreciate though that they're like, I mean, obviously they're like experts, but they take that into account because if I were in charge, I'd be like, let's go. It's just like any day.
Yeah.
Immediately die.
It is crazy. So that's Elon Musk. They also have companies that will bring you to space.
Just like out of the atmosphere.
Right.
That's like, that's been a thing.
So you
didn't Bezos do it? Or does he own it?
I think he might have gone up.
He's just done it.
So
he doesn't own it.
There's 2 different companies called Virgin Galactic and Blue Origin. And it's a 12-minute trip total. And you go up past like the atmosphere and you get
like weightlessness or whatever. Yeah, anti-gravity.
Anti-gravity.
That's
for
cool.
like a second and then you come back down.
And
so it's kind of nice that it's like in one day you could like go grocery shopping and go to space.
I'm gonna go hit space.
I have a lot of things to do today on my to-do list.
Is it insanely expensive? Is it like $1 million?
Not as much as I thought. So you could go with Virgin Galactic for around $450,000 per seat.
Easy.
We could potentially do that in a lifetime.
Well, we were gonna save for a house, but let's go to space.
Let's go to space.
For one of us.
And then Blue Origin is between 200,000 to over 1 million.
Oh, depending on the seat.
With the first seat ever sold on the flight for 28 million at an auction.
Ooh.
But it's like an experience and it's not tourism, they're saying. It's like from the second you pay, they're your guides.
Very cool. You damn well better be my guide if I'm paying $1 million. It might better be the best thing in the world. Blue Origins is the shady name to me. I feel like it's controlled by like a PlayStation controller.
Literally,
like
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, both of these companies remind me of going to the Titanic.
What was the name of that company?
In a shoebox.
I
don't remember.
Seagate? No, Seagate was the name of the scandal.
Oh.
The Seagate? Whatever. You guys all remember. We don't know anything. Interesting.
So people going to space also brings us to the moon landing. Is it real?
She's digging deep.
I'm controversial today.
Wow.
Here's the argument.
Let's talk shop.
Here's the argument. The space race was very real, right? There were world wars. Things were happening. People were unhappy and like depressions and all the things were happening.
You had to flex. You had to swing your thing.
So in July 1969, they America landed on the moon.
We went to the moon in 1969.
And I'm not saying anything. All I'm saying is
you're just saying words.
The facts that could go against it are, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist by any means, but it's very interesting to like just hear these different perspectives. When they put the flag into the moon, the flag was waving, but the moon has no air and no wind. So why is it moving?
There's no atmosphere and aren't there windstorms sometimes on?
No, there's no air on the moon.
Yeah, a little suspect.
Literally, you can't breathe. There's like no air, you know?
Wow.
And then,
the other thing?
the video tech was like really, really advanced for that time period. And there were like multiple light sources in the video. So it just feels like what? And then people have said that in the background, you can see in one of the scenes, a boulder, like a rock that has like prop.
No.
Like written on it.
Man, I want to watch this. Yeah, there's probably heavy conspiracy theorists on this.
I've watched the video and it does.
Seems a little cheesy.
It seems pretty cheesy and kind of, it's very interesting. And so on, of course, Reddit's like a deep dark hole, but I was reading this thread about it. And this one guy said, here is a filmmaker talking about all the ways that the film like doesn't make sense.
Go on.
And why it's like way too advanced for the time period, comparing it to other films of that time. And it's taken down. Just like the mermaid video.
It's nowhere to be found?
No. Or not from the link that I didn't like search for too much, but.
And if you're wondering, if you want to learn more about the mermaid video, watch our Pirates episode.
Yeah.
She's
throwback.
Big. Apparently she's the conspiracy theorist of the.
There are mermaids and we didn't land on the moon. That's all I'm saying.
I agree that some of the moon landing things are shady, and it was like so convenient because at the time it was the space race. Mm-hmm. So it's like whoever could get to space first was like the most powerful world power. So it's like there was a lot of things to gain from not only getting to the damn moon, televising it.
Yeah,
it's like you had in the 60s, you had the tech.
Right.
To televise,
to live stream.
Live broadcast from the damn moon. I mean, I guess technically it's feasible. I don't know all the tech. And obviously they had the biggest budget in the US, you know, it's like, but yeah, there's some interesting things.
And why hasn't anyone else gone up there?
Why haven't we had why hasn't freaking Celine Dion done a concert up there at this point?
Well, no, why hasn't China, like no other countries have gone up?
You'd think China would go and be like, ha, 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 ha.
But yeah.
Even like a monkey hasn't got, you know, I'm not into like animal experimenting, but you know how they send like monkeys into space?
Yeah.
I don't see a chimp on the fucking moon.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
What do you think? Comment below.
This is going to get taken down. If you don't hear from us.
Literally, if you don't hear from us, we were right.
We're the most dangerous people in America right now.
But then there's also aliens. So here's another not conspiracy, but okay. So there's this like whole big. I can go back
I
and forth.
can't do the hand thing. So she's an alien. I'm not.
That's why I believe in all this. I know it's real. So if you know the Berenstain Bears, Bernstein. We knew it as Bernstein.
We knew it as the Berenstain Bears. So
Berenstain. Berenstain.
Berstein. That's what we knew. Nay.
It's Berenstain all of a sudden.
Bernstain.
But if you grew up in the 90s, don't you remember it as Bernstein?
It's a big thing that like many, many people recognize that it's like the Mandela effect.
So people think it's like a blip in our
like timeline or something.
Timeline.
Or yeah.
Like a parallel timeline or something. And so that's just like a side note and you can look into it if you're interested. But in 2020, I specifically remember when the world was going to shit and everyone was freaking out and like people were losing control. The government slipped in. The president said at the time, Aliens are real.
Or maybe it wasn't even the president. Maybe it was.
No, it was.
I thought it was just like a high up official.
Maybe it was I thought it was the president.
Like someone like secretary of blah blah blah.
Okay.
Whatever. It was like some official person said
that aliens are real. They're actually going to confirm that they are real. Extraterrestrial life is real.
Yeah, that there was like, well, yeah, didn't they say like they're confirming that there have been. Were they talking about like UFOs or actually identifying?
I think aliens. And now, if you look it up, everywhere it says the government has never confirmed this. They did. I literally remember being like,
I remember talking about it.
They're mentioning this now because it's like the perfect time to drop it because no one's focused on it at all because the world is shutting down.
Slip
literally.
it in.
And now all of a sudden they took it back because everything's chill.
Everything's chill. They sucked it back.
Here's the thing with aliens. They're obviously real.
What's the deal with aliens?
They're obviously real.
I mean, all this talk of infinite universes, and you're going to look me, you're going to sit on your fat ass and look me in the eye and say, there's no aliens. Yeah, get real, Haas. There's aliens. Right, babe?
Obviously. Maybe there's not life on the how many planets?
The ones we're looking at,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. On the 8 that we see. But you're telling me that like beyond that, there's not a single planet that has living form. And like they might not look like us, obviously, because they might not need air to breathe. Maybe they, circulate through helium or something. I don't know.
Yeah, they might, there's a lot of explanations. Yeah, maybe they breathe helium. Maybe they don't breathe.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do they do?
It could literally be like a bunch of like living organisms that escape their planet, like in all the Marvel movies, and they live on like a space center somewhere and they just like hover.
There's a lot of scenarios. Or there's literally infinite galaxies, so maybe they're just in other galaxies.
Yeah.
There's many explanations. And there's too many like weird, shady things that have gone on through history where it's like, that's hard to explain. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The unidentified flying objects and like the found things and like the pyramids. Did aliens do it?
I saw a UFO once.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you tell me about that?
I was walking in my dad's neighborhood when I was growing up in high school with my friend Rachel, shout out, who Throwback was the one that gave us these awesome boards for Christmas.
Call back
to that.
Shout out Rach for these cool boards.
And we were walking my dad's dog and literally looked up and there was like a triangle. This is before like drones were everywhere of lights. And it was just like literally hovering in the sky and it didn't move hardly at all. And it was just like hovering. And then all of a sudden it just like took off and was gone.
It said, take me to your leader.
Well, and you hear of all these people that like,
oh yeah,
black out. They're like in their car in the middle of a desert alone, black out, come to, and they have all these like orb, almost like they were cupped or something, like different like things, like they had experiments taken on them, and they have memories of like weird like
probing. Yeah, I mean, there's multiple cases of like people feeling like they've been abducted. Obviously, it can be rationalized in certain ways as like delusions, but it's like when you start to hear like recurring things, it's like, I don't know. But also it's like, doesn't that feel a little cliche where it's like they picked up the human to like probe them and experiment on them? But I don't know, maybe that whole cliche comes from actual things that happen. Remember my thing I was talking about, how it's like, how viewers, how there's the stereotypical obviously aliens are depicted in different ways in Hollywood, but like the main stereotypical one is the big head, the big eyes are usually smaller with skinny bodies. And it's like, well, where does the stereotype come from? I'm just spitballing here, but where does the stereotype come from? From like something actually happening and then being reiterated over and over and over. And yes, stereotypes aren't always accurate and they obviously generalize, but they usually stem from something. Mm-hmm. So I'm just saying, maybe it all started when it actually was experienced, and then it like kept being reiterated through history, and now that's how we like think of aliens. Like,
Good point.
I don't know. That's just a thought.
Well, in Area
Take it or leave
51,
it.
like if we were to get an alien here, we would obviously probe and experiment on it.
Poor alien.
Totally.
Well, like in Independence Day, they were
Yeah.
probing, they were experimenting.
Yeah.
Bad idea. Will Smith could have told you that.
So now we're going to play a game.
Uh-oh. What's the game?
How well do you know our solar system?
System.
So it's not your partner yet. I have a few questions for Slex to answer, and we'll see if he's smart or not.
Yikes.
Okay. First,
Hit me.
what is the hottest planet?
Venus.
Yes.
I saw that.
Oh.
Because of all the,
Venus.
it's like a really thick, what were you going to say?
Yeah.
Go.
Back off.
I wanted to go off
This
of
is my
memory.
game.
Yeah, sorry.
No, you can go.
Go. Because it's got a really thick atmosphere. So, and it's like carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, and it like traps the sun's radiant heat. So it just keeps like kind of building up, right? Something like that?
Yeah, so you'd think that Mercury would be the hottest because it's the closest to the sun, but Venus has a ton of clouds, and the clouds trap the sun's heat. So it can get up to 867 degrees Fahrenheit.
I know, thank you.
That's crazy. That's
The second
you would burn.
Yeah, the second you cross into the atmosphere, you would fry.
Not even. Probably like so close to it.
You
I mean, probably even
disintegrate.
just getting
You
closer
disintegrate in the
to.
snap of a finger.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Okay. Nice job so far. You're smart. Let's see if that holds.
Thank you.
What planet is a gas giant? Or is considered the gas giant?
Neptune.
No. You want to take another guess?
The gas giant. So it's a big dog. Wait, let me look at let me look at my options. Jupiter.
Yes.
Yay.
Very good.
That's all gas?
Yeah.
It doesn't even have a solid core.
And he's massive. He's a big boy.
Well, it's substantial enough. Well, I don't know how matter works, but like the gas is dense enough to be contained, obviously, because it needs to remain circular and it needs to stay in that orbit. So what kind of gas is it? Did you look it up?
No. But you could fit
hodgepodge?
all of our planets in Jupiter, and that would only cover 70% of the planet. That's how big it is.
Yikes.
Yeah, it's huge. Okay.
Gas giant. I'm
Jupiter
a gas giant.
has not since you stopped eating red meat.
Cut out red meat and you won't be a gas giant, y'all.
Jupiter has many
Wow.
moons. What planet has none?
Yeah, because you don't need a moon to be a planet. I'm trying to think of all my facts. Jupiter has many moons. What planet has none? I know Neptune has a moon. Uranus?
No.
No, Uranus has a moon. Get it?
Wow. A
I'm
lot
on
of butt
fi-
things
I'm on
right
fire
now.
with butt puns.
Venus doesn't have any moons.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay. What are Saturn's rings made of?
Ooh, I know this one. Like ice
Mm-hmm.
and like rock
Mhm.
and debris.
Mm-hmm. And dust,
Dust.
and gases. Very good.
It's so funny. Like when I first found that out years later, I was like floored because it's like, it just looks like a solid ring.
Mhm.
You don't think that it's like comprised of like millions of like shit, you know? I thought it was like this smooth, cool ring, you know?
I know. Like you could
That
slide on it.
You could like skateboard on it, you know?
Yeah.
Don't try to, note to the viewers, do not try and skateboard on Saturn's rings.
So it's also like pieces of like asteroids and comets and stuff.
Sure, it just smashes in and gets caught in there.
Yeah.
Like in
I was trying to think-
Alien Romulus, remember?
Alien Romulus. Yeah, that's what I was
The
trying to
huge
think.
rings.
Yeah.
So sick. Alien Romulus, y'all. Oh my God. Such a good movie. All right, next.
This is all you, baby. Definitions. So we've broken down simple terms that you've heard a bunch, but like what does it actually mean? Slex is going to school us on it.
Well, I already told you about planets, the 3 qualifications, so just rewind. I don't want to reiterate that. Solar system. What's a solar system? A solar system needs to have a star at the center of it, and then objects that orbit the star, including planets, moons, asteroids, comets, etc. Obviously, we're in our own solar system, and our star is what?
The sun.
The sun. The sun is a star. I remember when I first found that out, because like when you're a kid, you know there's like the moon, the sun, the stars. You didn't think a sun's a star. That blew my mind.
So are all stars suns?
No, I think we just called our star the sun. I think that's literally just like a name for it. So depending on how you think of it, yes.
No, not all stars are suns. The term sun is usually used to describe stars that are at the center of a planetary system and that are fusing elements and releasing heat.
Oh, okay. So sun is a scientific term. I thought we just like called it the sun because that's like the name for it. You know what I mean? Okay, interesting.
Okay.
So not all stars are suns.
Yeah.
But all suns are stars.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Very cool, babe.
So yeah, that's what a solar system is. And then what's a galaxy? A galaxy is we're kind of going from small to big. A galaxy is a collection of solar systems, gas, dust, dark matter, etc. And it's all held together by what?
Gravity.
Nice. Yeah. If you look at like the Milky Way, you look at it, it's circular because apparently it's like the gravitational pull that I think that's like creating that kind of spirally type of thing. So it does literally stay contained within this gravitational pull. It's pretty freaking sick.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So I don't really understand the extent of gravity, but so there's gravitational pull per entity, right? Like, so there's planets and galaxies that all have their own gravitational pull, but then they're being pulled by like a greater gravity. So how does it all stay separate? You know what I mean? Is that a dumb question?
How does gravity even exist in a black pit of nothing?
What is gravity? Gravity is... What is gravity? Like the literal definition. It causes, when you throw something in the air, it falls to the ground. It's like a force. It's a force, right?
What's gravity in space?
It's gravity.
Gravity in space is the force that attracts any object with mass towards any other object with mass, meaning that every object in space exerts a gravitational pull on every other object, keeping planets in orbit around the stars and holding galaxies together.
That's insanity.
Even though astronauts appear weightless in space, they are still experiencing Earth's gravity as they are in constant free fall around the planet.
Whoa. So literally every place you are within the infinite universe, gravitational pull is acting on you, even if you feel weightless.
Because objects will always have a gravity.
Yeah, of substantial mass. Like we don't have gravitational pull because
we're to you, baby.
That's true. The pull of love, baby. Interesting. That's really sick.
Yeah.
We're blowing our minds. Okay, the next one. Light year. Guess what? Despite its name, light year is not a measurement of time. It's a measurement of distance. So because... Actually, I'm going to bring this one up because this one's fun. And this one like blew my mind. And no, we're not talking about Buzz Lightyear.
Good.
Okay, check it out. A light... No. Sorry. A light year is the distance that light travels in 1 Earth year. So it's kind of a way to relate it to our own, like, time and distance kind of deal. Essentially a unit of measurement used in astronomy to describe the vast distances between stars and galaxies. How far is 1 light year, you ask? 5.8 trillion miles. So astronomers are like, well, we can't say like miles. We can't say feet. Gosh knows we can't say inches. So they had to figure out a light year. I don't even know, but it's like, how do you even determine the distance? Well, I'll tell you actually, because I looked it up. I can kind of tell you. So techniques for measuring distance by light years. They compare a star's apparent brightness to its actual brightness, which is determined by its color spectrum.
Oh, yeah. Color spectrums.
So, like, the current brightness you see now compared to what it actually should be. Because we're only perceiving like the light we see isn't what it's actually its current state because it took so long to get to us, right? Didn't you read that? Oh my God.
Oh yeah, so that fact is really cool. And this actually helped me to understand. So stars, when we see a star in the sky, it's 10,000 light years away.
Yeah, multiply that by 5.
Because you can only really see that much with your naked eye. Okay, so that means that the light left the star 10,000 years ago for you to be able to see it now, which helps and also makes it like even crazier. So you're seeing light that left the source 10,000 years ago for you to be able to see it.
You're seeing a glimpse back into time. So it's like, it's such a vast thing that it's literally this like, it's a cross between time and distance.
Yeah, it's like how long it would take to get there would be 10,000 years.
Seeing a star is seeing the past. It's really cool.
That's a very cool way to say it. That's poetic. And God. It's not that every star you see is dead, because I know that I was always told that like if you see a star, it's already dead. But I think the point of that is just it's taken 10,000 years like for you to see it. Dead. So it could potentially in the future be dead because we're seeing it in the past. But
right.
Yeah.
That's insanity. So that was that. And then the last one is a black hole, which is like...
those are crazy.
Yo. Enormous amounts of mass packed into a tiny volume. Oh my God, my notes are horrible. Let me just... I tried like summarizing it because we... Hold on. Dun, 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 dun. Oh my gosh. Of course I can't bring it up. Let's say, wait. Forget it. Yeah, forget it. I'll try to read my notes. It's an enormous amounts of mass packed into a tiny volume with a gravitational pull so strong that light can't even escape it. They say that it's when it occurs when a giant star collapses. And it's like enormous amounts of mass, yet it's like the absence of anything. It's like the biggest like paradox in like the universe. And obviously, I don't even know how scientists study it, because if you ever got too there's not. If we were we wouldn't exist if we were close to any, because you would get like pulled into it. But apparently, yeah, it's like you could never even get close to it because you would just be pulled into it and you would just like cease to exist. So I don't even know.
It's basically a vacuum, right? That like once a star poofs, it almost gets sucked into itself
like
and
implodes.
Then turns into a vacuum that sucks everything else into it.
Yeah. It's like and we don't really know what's on the other end of them. It's like they can only like theorize what it is, but it's like, yo, okay.
I think it's something cool.
It's like a bunch of like lizard people out like chilling at like a rager at like a party. That's what I think.
No, they live here, right? Conspiracy theories.
What do you think it is? I think it's a bunch of lizard people skateboarding on Saturn's rings.
I think you like shoot through and maybe it's dark for light years, but like you don't actually perceive time that way. And then when you open up, it's like other galaxies and things, but maybe it's like one big sun star and then all the galaxies surround just one or something. I don't know. Could be anything.
Oh, I thought you were going to say like if you got through it, you would actually like experience something. You're just like...
Yeah, like what's on the other side.
Yeah.
It could be a mirrored version of what this is, whatever that means.
The opposite.
So I'm you and you're me.
Yikes.
Zoinks.
Zoinks is right. A lot of things to think about, y'all. Okay, so those are my fun definitions.
That was super fun. Okay, what's your fact?
Oh, yeah. So to top off my fun definitions, I have a really fun fact to wrap it all up. I put a little bow on it. Did you know... Oh yeah, you do a fact too. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sorry. This is I was mixing up my sections. All right. Did you know that Neptune's moon Triton is the coldest known object in our solar system? Can you guess the temperature it reaches? I'll give you $5 if you're 10 degrees. No, if you're 50 degrees off.
-357.
You knew.
Is it negative?
It's negative 391.
Ah.
Are you
Give
sure you
me
didn't see
bucks.
that fact?
Give me bucks.
I'll give you bucks.
I saw that it was a negative, but I didn't see what it was at all.
391 degrees Fahrenheit. That is cold.
It's crazy that if you go so close to the sun, it's 867, and then you go so far away, and it's negative 300.
Oh, yeah, Neptune's the
almost
furthest, so it's a chilly
yeah.
little devil.
I mean, it's like a blue planet because it's so cold.
It's freezing. Don't go there. Well, that's the moon. That's not even.
I know.
So the moon's colder than Neptune.
Think about with the moon, that's probably when it's coldest. It's when it's on the other side of the planet.
Yeah,
it's farthest from the sun.
Wow, are you an astronomer? Hello.
I really feel that way right now. I feel really smart right now.
This is one of our smartest episodes. We're killing it right now.
That would be my personal hell to go to. I'd rather chill.
You'd rather burn up
on
immediately.
Venus than go to Neptune.
You'd rather burn to a crisp immediately on Venus than go to Neptune?
100%.
I'd probably agree.
Yeah.
You would die instantly on either planet.
Yeah, that's true.
So it doesn't really matter.
That's true. Where do you pick your death? So my fact is also about Neptune.
Okay.
Neptune has only completed one orbit around the sun since its discovery 165 years ago.
No.
Yeah.
165 years?
We've only known about it for 165 years.
Holy shit. I thought we knew about it for way longer.
So that's crazy.
That is crazy.
So it takes like so long to go around the sun. But the interesting thing is that a day is only 16 hours. So it spins around, it rotates
like quicker than ours.
faster than us.
Like half almost.
But it revolves, which it's farther also. So like obviously the farther you are, the longer it takes, but it's taking so long. And with Pluto being further from that, Pluto still hasn't made a full revolution.
Well, we don't give a shit
it's
about
at
Pluto.
248 years and counting.
And it hasn't made a full revolution?
No.
Well, probably because it's so far out, so it has a longer distance, and maybe it's just slower too.
And there was this cool thing about Pluto will, at random times, come into the same gravitational pull cycle as Neptune.
Again.
Which is why it's like
dwarf planet.
Dwarf planet.
Baby can't handle
but
the
then
heat.
it will never hit each other because like of their two gravity, like they'll never like collide, but they'll come in. Yeah,
it has enough to stay in its own lane, but it'll like pick it up sometimes. That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Again, how the hell do we know that?
Yeah.
Is my question. I want to just
Je ne sais pas.
I just want to pick an astronomer's brain one of these days.
Okay. How well do you know your partner?
Or as we like to say, HWDYKYP.
I tried to memorize it. I didn't have it.
We should know it by now. HWDYKYP.
Okay. So first, we have 4 questions, 2 regarding Slex, 2 regarding me.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to guess the answer and then see if we know anything about each other.
We've been doing pretty well lately.
We have been kind of
Last one we slammed.
Yeah.
So let's slam.
Okay. What is Slex's favorite planet?
That's easy, dude. Make sure you have it high enough so we...
3, 2, 1. Earth.
Saturn.
Oh.
Earth. I was thinking of saying
I thought
Earth.
it's like the one you know best.
Yeah. No, it's cliche.
I was going to say the rings.
Well, you've always liked Saturn, right?
Saturn's great.
It's cliche. I feel like every kid likes Saturn because of the rings. I always thought it was super cool. So Saturn.
I was going to put Saturn.
Earth?
Yeah. Well,
what am I lame?
It's the one you live on.
It's my second favorite. I wish I lived on. I wish I could skateboard on Saturn's rings.
That's true. Okay, what is Elise's favorite moon phase?
Okay. Let's see. I think I actually got this one. I think I slammed this one. You don't know you're on moon phase? Wow. Take your time.
Three, two, one. Full.
Waning crescent. Oh.
I literally had.
Oh, I knew you liked full moons.
Well, I had waning gibbous because that's the moon that I was born on. So I love that I know that.
I'm glad I know that. I don't think I ever knew that.
But you were too, actually. I've looked them both up.
Cute.
Yeah. But
gibbous.
full moon, like realistically, if I'm thinking about it, I never like look up and think like, oh, it's a waning gibbous. I'm so happy. I look up and I'm like, oh, it's a full moon. It's epic.
She gets charged up by the moon.
I do. I charge my crystals, sometimes my cards.
Sometimes you howl.
I have howled.
Have you howled?
Mm-hmm.
You're crazy, girl.
Okay. What is Slex's? So we haven't gotten any right yet.
Haven't gotten
we were
any
getting
right.
cocky.
You'll get this one though.
Slex's favorite movie about space.
Yeah. If you don't get this one, babe, yeah, we're over. Right?
3, 2, 1.
Sunshine.
Interstellar. What's Sunshine?
Sunshine's. I've talked about Sunshine. Don't even sit there and ask. I love Interstellar.
You talk
That's
about
probably
Interstellar like every day.
because I want to see it again, and I've been thinking about it. But Sunshine's my
Yes.
all time. That's that Danny. I've been telling you, you got to see it. It's the Danny Boyle one where the sun's dying with Cillian Murphy. If you haven't seen it, Sunshine, wowzers. Also Interstellar, wowzers. Good stuff.
I was gonna put Alien Romulus because I know you liked that one.
Rom is literally probably my top 5, and that came out literally in 2024 and is unbelievable.
Okay, Elise's favorite alien in pop culture.
What the hell?
There's a few, but
So like
in movies or
okay.
shows.
I kind of have one that I think you really love. Okay. I'm just gonna go. I could think about this all day. I'm just gonna go for it. Can I put 2? No.
You won't win fully if you put 2, but yeah, you could put 2.
No. Okay, I'm gonna commit.
Who's your favorite alien in pop culture? Write it in the comments below.
That's a good one. Who's your favorite alien in pop culture? Write in the comments below.
3, 2, 1.
Groot. Yeah. Nice, babe. I was gonna
who
write
was it between?
Yoda and Groot.
It was between Yoda and Groot.
Really?
Yeah. But then I went with Groot because Yoda's like a little like he's tripping sometimes. Like Groot's just always like
Groot's
Groot.
on point.
Groot also only says one word, so
Groot's great, and I
can't
love
go
the
wrong.
different phases of Groot.
Teenage Groot.
Yeah, teenage Groot's hilarious.
Baby dancing Groot. Ugh.
Baby dancing Groot.
Protector of everyone that he loves. Old Groot. I mean, is Groot ever bad? No.
He's so legit as like
He's the best.
as an adult. I was thinking at first I was like Rocket Raccoon, and then I was like, wait, no, she likes Groot more. And then I was like, oh, but Star Wars. And I was thinking Yoda, but
I was
Groot it
thinking
is.
like Xenon, and then I was like, no, that's a disservice to anyone that's actually good.
yeah.
She's also, I think, from.
I think she's
she's
a
from
human, but she
yeah.
lives on a different planet.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you didn't say
Yeah, me
freaking
too.
Xenon.
Okay.
All right.
Final thing: fact or fiction?
It's huge.
Slex has to guess if this is real or not.
Okay.
The moon is slowly moving closer to Earth.
Such a good. False.
You're right.
It's moving away or
Yeah.
not?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
The gravitational pull of Earth and moon is causing it to move 1.5 inches away every year. And so
Holy shit.
it doesn't really affect anything currently, but it might eventually start to affect like the tides and everything. And then in like 200 million years or something, which is not in our
We'll be good,
lifetime,
yeah. Or is it?
days will become 25 hours in a day.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, but okay.
And
It'll
like,
just
and waves will change like
so
all
it
the
could
things
eventually
that
be bad. It
at
could
the
screw
moon.
shit up.
Yeah, it could change a lot of things.
Cool
Yeah.
fact, babe.
Smart.
Well, partner.
All right. Well, this was really fun. I feel like we'll have to do a space part 2 because it was just like such a joy.
We'll keep talking about
It was
space.
such a joy to talk about.
It was a joy. always like riffing about. Maybe when we really start getting this going, we can get a space expert on and just like hit them with questions. Oh, by the way, before we end, look at our little fun figurines. Shout out Dennis, Elise's dad, for that insane Leia crystal. That's Swarovski, baby.
Crystal, baby.
And then this was from our good friend Leo and Allie, way back. This sick-ass Stormtrooper Funko Pop. So shout out you guys. Thanks for this guy.
Well, you know what, Space Cadets? Just, when you feel like overwhelmed, look up at the sky and remember that you are just floating on a rock insignificantly in the middle of like an infinite space.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, if you start getting a big head about yourself, you're worthless in the big picture.
No, but like nothing, no small issue is that big of a deal, Yeah.
Put things into perspective. Look up at the sky from time to time. Drink it in.
A comet could crush us tomorrow, so enjoy life.
Armageddon style.
There's a lot of like little like sayings we could just pull right now, but we won't.
For you.
We won't. Love you all. Have a beautiful week, and we will see you next week.
See you next time.
Cheers.
Until then, peace.